First glance, it kind of looks like we're in one giant science experiment, huh? Well, we're actually in one of California's most unique farms. It's a place that has attracted chefs from all across the country and has made an international superstar out of its owner. The unbelievable nature of his job just doesn't seem to come across in the simple title of mushroom farmer, but that's just fine for Malcolm Clark. He'll leave it to those around him to find him a nickname, and he'll just stick to doing what he does best, traveling the world hunting for fungi.
In many cases, we've gone out, seeked different mushrooms that we wanted to bring back and tame, and some of that involves going into some fairly remote areas. Got these when I was on the way in, on this recent trip to Italy, they're all over the place. If I go into the bank or go somewhere, they'll say, oh, it's the mushroom man.
While the title may be a hard one to live up to, it's not without merit. And it may be one of the biggest reasons why his company, Gourmet Mushrooms, has ballooned from a two-man operation to the largest exotic mushroom farm in the country. When the company first started out 24 years ago, Malcolm and his partner David Law only grew shiitake mushrooms. Now they produce 28 different varieties of fungi that they've searched out all over the world for.
This is the chiodini, as the Italians call it, or what we call Amaryllia mela, or the honey mushroom.
Is it the same one we played with about 10 years ago?
Oh yeah, you can grow this. We just chose not to.
Yeah.
But there it is. I'm going to eat them tonight.
The adventures and humor of these unusual farmers are just part of the story here. The other part is the way their unique product is grown. The Sebastopol-based company specializes in an array of wild forest mushrooms, ones that typically grow on dead or dying wood. To grow new mushrooms, they use a special technique that involves sawdust, organic materials, and state-of-the-art equipment, all of which create the perfect place for new fungi to grow.
So this room basically is a giant incubation room and like a forest basically.
We also grow them under very special conditions to try and be able to maintain their original flavors. So we grow them slowly, gently, and with conditions that are as close as we can get to the natural conditions.
And it's those conditions and perfectly produced mushrooms that have Malcolm and his staff coming up with more and more uses for them. Now their 43,000 square foot headquarters is part farm, part scientific laboratory, with Gourmet Mushrooms not only growing mushrooms for culinary purposes, but medicinal ones as well.
I like them because they're extremely versatile and they'll change their character to match different dishes. Our trumpet royale mushroom, which is one of my favorites, if you put it with lemon juice and tarragon and butter, it's an obvious match with the seafood. It's an obvious match for maybe a Sauvignon Blanc or a Chardonnay.
Over the years, Julia Child, Wolfgang Puck, and Michael Mina have been part of a fan base that continues to grow almost as fast as the company.
Chefs like to have new ingredients to work with. Boy, if anybody in the whole world does, they do, because they want to be creative. And maybe they're bored with what they know. Okay, I've used porcini for 20 years. Yes, they're nice, but what else have you got? As a chef, that's great, because when I call up a fellow chef and I'm able to say, I've got something you haven't seen before, that's a huge positive for me.
Today, the business has grown to be so large they work 365 days a year, harvesting nearly 5 tons of mushrooms each week. And that's just to keep up with demand. He certainly does have a little job security, knowing there are plenty more adventures to be had with his favorite fungi.
David and I are farmers. We do spell it with a PH rather than an F, but basically we're